Bintumani is quite expensive. We can go into partnership, obviously, with placement fellows in the municipality. We can use that as our bait in terms of getting partnership from them people. But as an initial start, we need to think around the thematic areas that we want to have, and we'll have the fellows, the alums, as part of this. So let's imagine we have a panel on girls' education. You have the experts, you have a fellow, maybe you have an alum. So that panel will comprise, like most of the panel will have our fellows or our alums alongside experts in that particular area. Yeah, because now if you're talking about climate, I'm seeing collaboration with the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. It's about education, right? But when you talk about girls' education, then you bring in the Ministry of Gender. So there's a whole lot of collaboration coming along. And in my wild thinking, I know it might sound political, but anything you give the First Lady to do, when you look at this in their office, this is something they can run with. Because I've seen that's how they were able to pull off the women's conference. It was international. And now I'm hearing about a youth conference as well, which is done by some people alongside the First Lady's office. But this has some international flair to it, because we're going to also bring partners from Africa, like the CEO from Nigeria, from Uganda, from Zimbabwe, to just be part. So when we talk about the teaching as collective leadership, it's not just happening in Sierra Leone. But the thing is, we have to move faster again, just like Nigeria. We have to have more support from the government. So if Olawe comes and say, I have 4 governors supporting my work, and this is why we're like recruiting this amount of people, that will stir up maybe the government to do something, right? So we're going to definitely have a session where we have our own people, but it's going to be a whole lot of mix, so that we can have something that people say, wow, this really went down well, and it's for education,
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. The planning, we'll start doing the concepts together, because we have to have a concrete concept. Tomorrow we're meeting with Karina to share this, and let's see how she guides us along as we try to flesh out the idea.
Okay, just to add a few more things in connection with this conference. We also might invite some connections that we made in New York. In some of the sessions we attended in New York on climate education, on girls' education, on education cannot wait, on localizing education. We met with some key people that we might actually invite to this conference in the hope that they will be supporting themselves. And also to be able to showcase our work and see what help they might be able to offer in terms of taking things forward. They were so excited about the all-female cohort. I wish they knew about the challenges in the background that we have to face with the all-female cohort. So these are all people we might try to bring on board. And of course, even though it will be a national conference, we are going to cover it on social media. It's going to be covered in full on social media. So Mr. Kane and Mr. ICT, please think about all of these things carefully. We want to see how we can infuse dynamism in all of this. And to crown it all, we had an opportunity to visit Wendy at home in her house. Very humble woman for a millionaire. Where you gonna Wendy, you're gonna say there is more to life than material things. Very humble. And I was really touched by her simplicity. The way we met her, I was like, what? CEO of Teach for All? They're among the top 400 richest people in America. And all of those things.
Living in New York.
He lived in a small flat in New York, very humble. He wears small clothes. That was touching for me. And in our engagements, she actually agreed. We reminded her that we still miss the opportunity that the opportunity we were supposed to have during COVID, that she was already at the airport, and she was so emotional about it all. And she said she has still not been able to get over that disappointment, that she always thinks about Sierra Leone and the need to come. And then all of a sudden she said, you know what, I'm coming to Sierra Leone in the first quarter of 2024.
Yeah.
So definitely Wendy is coming to Sierra Leone. And it was after she had told us. Yeah, she's coming to Sierra Leone. It was after she had told us.
The big stranger.
It was after she told us that she was coming to Sierra Leone, and we were now discussing other things, that Vongai came around, and then I said, Vongai, Wendy has something to tell you. And Wendy said, I'm going to Sierra Leone. Now she was like, wow. You know what I mean? So it would be great to have the CEO, and I believe she's going to open doors. And we want to see if we can fit her visit around this national conference.
Yeah.
So insofar as we want her to be able to see our work, to visit our school communities, I think it would be great. It would be great if we can. All of those activities would actually culminate into her presence at this national conference, and for her to be able to make a statement and engage key players in this country. I think that would be extremely helpful. So, fingers crossed. Let us do our best to plan this. We will engage with our partners, Teach for All, and the staff. We know they have capacity in that organization. We all know. And I'm sure by the time they finish with this, we will not even understand what we are dealing with. Yeah? I see Mr. Rowe's hand up, so I will vacate the floor for Mr. Rowe. Thank you.
Okay,
Dr. Conte, I think much has been said. I am extremely happy about the great news that we have received about the coming of Mrs. Wendy Coops also.
If you don't have a tie, just fall on the ground. Keep your eyes on him. Yes, I have a tie. If you ask for a tie, let him fall on the ground.
I'm extremely happy about that. So definitely, this is going to be the biggest branding for Teach for Sierra Leone. So we would all put hands on deck to ensure that it becomes a success. So that's all I wanted to say at the moment.
You have a tie on.
I do have a tie on.
Okay.
I just want to say something quickly on this.
Okay.
Honestly, CEO and Doctor, I think we don't have a better time to our government to realizing the work that we're doing than the time when they will be here. If we could manage things with them, I am sure by the time she leaves Sierra Leone, she will leave us in a very good footing with the Ministry of Education. That is something we have to plan for and be able to do. We have to be very intentional about it. Whatever it will take us to do, let us have her meet with these people, or let us have these people meet with her when she comes finally, and let's know what will happen. I am sure something is going to come out of that visit.
Definitely, most definitely, Martin. She will even do a courtesy call on the president, because we met once in Dubai, and now it's time for her to meet him in his home soil. So that will plan the itinerary, but it might be a good time for her to be around when we're having this particular conference. And I'd love her to speak at this conference, have some of our partner CEOs to also be in this conference, just to give it the sort of flair we want. But definitely we'll plan the itinerary properly. We'll start the discussions tomorrow. I know from Perina it will scale up to, and Teach for All can also put some money towards this, But for me currently, like the key partners, I'm thinking AfriCell, obviously they'll give us whatever banners we want, whatever PA system, staging, so that's covered. But there is a lot more to you bringing MPs to come and say yes, oh yes, I love this program. The MP from Dr. Iseba Fodia, right? So he's the chief from Bafodia. You have the DDs. So all the logistics, this DSA thingy, you need money. And I'm sure this is something maybe Irish Aid also would love to sponsor in a way. But once we have the plan, let's have the concept, and we do a budget thereafter, and then we can move forward. But we'll start fleshing out the ideas tomorrow with Perina, and we'll be guided as well. But I'm just overexcited about this whole thing. When I think about it, when I speak about it, I'm always shaking because I know something is about to be done in Sierra Leone. In all honesty,
we were kind of having a preliminary discussion with the alums here, and we just realized how huge this conference really, because it's not just an opportunity for us to showcase what we are doing as an organization, but as well to guide even the government that education is not just about what happens within the classroom. Though all we do is related to innovation and new trends, we also have the opportunity to as well incorporate other sectors like the non-formal education sector. Of course, in our placements, we have people who did very well in arts and crafts. Kids did amazingly well. We also had people who, in fact, were part of the top 3 successes in terms of education result, NPSC results in this country. So one of the things we are thinking about is collecting data of our impact in all of the 4 years since we started. But also on top of that, we also have to bring people, say heads of schools that we've worked with, to give testimonies, bring teachers that we've trained, in system teachers that we've trained, how our work has impacted them. Of course, ourselves, how has the leadership journey impacted us? I think really are hitting it big with this conference, if we can only pull it off the way we are imagining it.
Yeah. The concept, the budget, definitely. For me, I've taken down like 10, I've noted down 10 different stuff. I'll share with you guys what I've noted, and then anybody, if you have anything to add, you can add to it in terms of we can plan around. But when you talk about girls' education, who comes in? When you talk about climate education leadership, who comes in? Who do you want to? What sort of format? Like I said earlier, but the planning for me, I'm thinking in my head, it starts like right away. Effective October, November, December. That's 3 months. January, February, March. I'm looking around April, to be honest, because I don't want us to get into the rains. It takes like Teach for All a year to plan the global conference, because they have lots more, like 61 countries and other partners to get. But 6 months, I'm sure if we start getting the concepts now, we're almost at the end of September. Get the concept by the end of October, and then start reaching out as to who do we want to be like the main sponsor. This is something we can also take to UNICEF. If we get the buy-in of Irish Aid can also bring along other partners. And some of the other people that Doctor mentioned, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, in terms of the hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the timelines, I think we should be planning to do something at the end of the first quarter. And the first quarter actually ends in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should be planning to do this in March. It can be next week in March, and also so that we can guide Wendy's visit here as well around that time. So which means Wendy could actually come here for up to 5 days. So she knows she'll be here for 5 days. 2 days we'll take him around the communities to see our school communities, and then she will spend 2 to 3 days attending our conference. After the conference, she can go. Because she needs to see our work in the communities. She needs to have this engagement, high-level engagement with the president, the chief minister, the minister of education, the minister of gender and children's affairs, the first lady, to see how she can galvanize local support for us, the National Youth Service, the Minister of Youth, National Youth Commission, all key partners, including the Minister of the Environment, the EPA, if possible. Those that we can bring together, we bring together. Those that she needs to meet separately, like the president, she can do that. But I think a good person to coordinate all of those meetings for us would be the chief minister. And the chief minister idolizes Wendy anyway, and he will be excited to be the one chaperoning Wendy in this country. So those are all big opportunities. But I think we need to move on now. We've talked a lot about this conference. It's exciting. I know something big is going to happen after this. But let's move on the fundraising.
Because this also is like a gateway or pathway to unlock potential funding. So what I'm planning right now, what I'm thinking is for us to have, like, item number 12 is there, sponsor a teacher campaign. Specifically, I want us to target, sorry guys, I'm politicizing this a bit because my eyes are on my people that I've been in contact with. You know, we have now this small rapport, and I want us to have this sponsor a teacher campaign where we have people from district supporting your fellows, supporting our fellows from your district. Let's take, for instance, Bonwu is now the resident minister from Northwest, yeah? And we can have that person to sponsor. Sponsorship can be like 1,500,000, whichever amount. We can have 5 people sponsor 1 teacher. But what we know is that this is the cost to sponsor a teacher per year. How much do you want to contribute? And this is something that even the chief education officer at one point, she told me, say, I'll be in for this to give some sort of support. I cannot give you a bulky amount, but if it's like monthly, I know it will be a pain to like people to live up to that. But if you can give me 5 million to cover 5 months, that's fine. But this is something that is happening in Uganda and it's working. Yeah, it's all about localizing again the educational stuff we're talking about. Yes, we'll be doing other things in the classroom, but around fundraising, this also enhances our sustainability or whatever it is. So please, I'm thinking around the sponsor a teacher campaign. If you have names of people, we are now in 6 districts. Moyamba, I am listing all the big guns. I want it to look like an SLPP thing. Because when we're doing this cocktail, I want us to bring in even the cherry cocos, you know, by virtue of the affiliation that
Samura Kamara,
you know, we can bring them. It's about education, you know. Anes, I don't know about Anes, sorry to say. But like cherry coco, I know I'll be able to bring it, you know. I'll be able to bring Richard Conte, and then we'll bring the other ones. It's for education. This is not politics. It's about you supporting. So maybe that can even stir up some competition. You know, I come from Bombali, we're supporting 20, and our support is this amount. That is something I want us to do in November. This one is not Wendy coming. Whether we collect, this is going to be a very tight budget program. Yeah. So when I come back, I've started having some discussions with some people that I know are influential. Like for me, Moyamba people, I already have their list. There's a whole chunk of people who are already appointed into big places and they know me. And that's why I've been very strategic again in terms of how to place. Like the Honorable Emmanuel Dase, he's my guy, you know. He's one of my fan, and I know how influential he is. That one, I know it can move things around for me. The mama of the House of Parliament, Auntie Verona, my own political mother. You know, I have all of these small things. So I want to use this as at my own advantage. I'm not using them, but I want to use it at my own advantage. You know what I mean? So this is the idea behind the sponsor a teacher from your district. Moyamba has a challenge because they have 40. But we now have the rest in Bo, that chief minister comes from. I'm pretty sure the information minister comes from there. Mom came from, I think, Bo district or so. It's the dad that came from that Kanige thing that is always talking about Kanige boy, Bobo. But yeah, this is the idea. I have my projections as to how much I want to fundraise from this.
Yes, Mr. Kawa's hand is up. Being the fundraising officer, I think he will share.
This one, I'm going to give him an assignment, in fact. So let him speak.
Mr. Kawa, go on.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm specifically interested in this whole initiative that's initiated, I think it will augment my work's partnership in following Tisha. And already, I have developed one or two strategies already with regard to your proposed conference. So I'm pleading that you share with me whatever it is that you have regards partners, organizations, individuals that you've identified already, because I have some in mind. I just want to applaud this. I think done very great, a good job for me. I will take it from there.
The pleasure is mine. Yes, we'll continue with this one. Yeah. All right then. What do we have next?
Yeah, next we have the alumni retreat and graduation. We all know that our hello.
Yes.
Yes, go on.
We all know that our cohort 2 fellows completed their fellowship at the end of August. And a good number of them were asking for extensions to see whether we could extend the fellowship for another year or two. But we told them they need to graduate and then graduate into alumnihood, and they will then get a different kind of support from Teach for Sierra Leone in career aspirations and the like. So they have graduated already, but they also pleaded with us that they did not want to have their graduation ceremony during the rainy season. So we agreed that it will happen in October. They will be arriving
November.
November. It will happen from the 8th to the 11th of November. They will be arriving inside Mankne, where we had the retreat for cohort 1. We're having this retreat for cohort 2 there as well. They will come in on the evening of the 8th. We will have the retreat, the alumni retreat, on the 9th and the 10th. And then on the 11th, which is a Saturday, you can all check just to be sure that I've got it right. On the Saturday, which should be the 11th, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll have the graduation. And then after the graduation, everybody can go home. We'll make sure that the graduation finishes with lunch, and then everybody can go home. So we need to start putting modalities in place for that retreat. to make sure it is more interesting, more engaging than the we held for the cohort 1. Because when you hold retreats, you learn lessons and you find ways of improving this. So I will be requesting the services of the alumni coordinator and my project officer to work closely with the training team to put the modalities in place for this retreat, which will be held from the 8th to the 11th. Arrival on the 8th, so there will be dinner on arrival on the 8th, and we'll be there on the 9th and 10th, and then we finish with lunch on the 11th. Yeah, we've also agreed that they can invite families and friends at their own cost, but we will only ensure we provide enough food for all the invitees after the graduation on the 11th. So that's very clear. Not only they pay transport for the invitees, we will pay the transportation to and fro for the alums who will be coming and returning. We'll pay their transportation. We'll be responsible for their lodging and boarding during the entire period. But when it comes to the graduation, we will be providing food, refreshments for invitees as well. That is the only commitment we have towards the invitees that will come in. Their transportation, accommodation, and everything will be at their own cost. So it is important for us to understand that as we plan this. So please, my alumni coordinator, my project officer, Mr. Salim Ansari, you need to work with Martin and Mr. Hassan Blah to see how we can put this together in place to ensure that we have a better retreat and a more exciting graduation ceremony than we did for cohort 1. Not a bad thing. Now, because of cohort 1, they plan this one now for cohort 2. So they see where if I be Papa and Mama there. Now the Papa and Mama there and a successor. The one they will succeed now. So that is the plan. I just thought we should share this with you so we all start thinking about this. So by the time we return to Sierra Leone, let we ensure modalities already there in place. So there's a lot to work on over the period. All of them things here we don't talk about for people now all fully engaged over the next week or so that we have something concrete to with by the time we come to Sierra Leone. Okay? Questions?
Say there is a lot of us we are working together.
Does that then mean that we cohort 1 refreshment?
Hello?
Can I come quickly?
Cohort 1 alums refreshment? Because we are refreshing cohort 2.
Provide refreshment for cohort 1. Would I be get water?
No, sir.
Your refreshment was water.
I'm sorry, guys.
But this time there's going to be some solids as well. I thought we are very sorry. But the time because the cohort 1 the planner now, so I believe it will be better than what you will be doing for cohort 1.
It is right.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
By the time you finished the presentation, you talked about these guys having, together with me, having this planning, go on. But I can still remember that we tasked this with Auntie Fatou and others, amongst the LDUs to do, and I believe they have started some discussions already, except otherwise if they can confirm now here that they have not started anything. But before we ended institute, or on the day we ended institute, we had that conversation with them. So you will have to ask them first what has been the progress so far, if they have done anything, then before, if you have to take this off them, then you can take it to to give to another team, except otherwise.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. We are not taking anything off anybody. So what I would propose, the people I have named in this session would now have to reach out to Fatu and Glenna. I think it was Fatu and Glenna, to see what has been done so you can put everything together. We can also co-opt Fatu and Glenna into this committee as well, in terms of moving forward with the planning. At the time it was delegated to Fatu and Glenna, we did not have an alum coordinator.
Yeah.
We did not have cohort 1 alums working for us. We did not have a project officer in place. So all of these people have come on board now, and they have to be part of that process. And because they have cohort 1 experience, then we able to remind people waiting me more than the letter did it. Who will do that graduation?
All right. So
let's we don't repeat some of them mistakes. So Martin, please ensure that Fatu and Glenna are part of this process as well.
All right. I will engage them on that.
Yeah, let us do it that way. And Mr. Hassan Glass, sorry, now if I'm for be successor rather than predecessor. For enjoying the process.
Magdalene just raised her hand. I don't know if she has something to say.
Yes. If I can remember vividly, it was said that all the LDOs should work. Yes. That was
yes, that was exactly. So it is clearer now, Auntie Magdalene. It is clearer now. So all of us are going to work together. I understand what Doctor is saying. We put this on you guys, knowing fully that you will be engaged during the period as well. But now that we have these guys who are kind of responsible for some things, it's good to have them on board. However, being that some of you have had some experience with that, we can join hands together with them to make sure we have a perfect plan. Okay, so it's not like taking it entirely off the people who agreed for them to do this. But yes, it's because we want to have an effective and perfect plan that we have to involve you as well, okay? Auntie Magdalene, are we clear?
Magdalene don't do with you.
All right, Miss F, I don't know with her. so it is clear. We go get a meeting on this together with the guys.
Yes.
And Auntie Glenna, yeah. All right.
Okay.
So we can move.
Yeah, we'll now move on to the audit report. Hello, Josephine. Do you want to comment on the audit report?
No, I think Mr. O should, because the auditor should have started last Monday. Mr. O just need to update us. I don't know if he started.
Mr. Rowe.
Let me come for Mr. Rowe quickly. He just stepped out. He's meeting with a guy they said is an expert on QuickBooks, and he has been planning a meeting with that individual. I think the individual just reached now that yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll skip that one, but just in case Mr. Rowe does not come back before the end of the meeting, I think, Martin, it is important to let Mr. Rowe know that the audit process should take high priority because people are already asking for our audit report for 2022. So it's critical that we move on the audit ASAP and cooperate fully with the auditor so we can get all of this audit process concluded by October.
He should have started since Monday last week, so he just needs to give us updates. Because before I left, he actually came to the office on Thursday. Yeah,
but on Monday, Mr. Rowe left Freetown, I believe, or Tuesday for Mongo. So I am sure that process did not possibly take place also. But we're by Thursday, right?
He'll be the best person because what he needs to do is to send most of the documents initially via email. But let's move to the next one.
So let him just expedite the process.
Sorry?
All right, sir.
No, I said let Mr. Rowe expedite that process just in case he does not come back. Martin, please remind him that issue up and that process needs to be given high priority right now. Yeah.
I will.
Thank you. On the proposal on training of youth teachers, we've talked a lot about this. We go to this, whether we like it or not, over 60% of our teachers in Sierra Leone lack the appropriate training or certification to actually be with classrooms. And even those that have the teaching qualifications, there isn't much to write home about. So these are serious challenges. And whether we like it or not, these teachers are still impacting our children positively or negatively. I assume negatively because they are not trained. They do not have the capacity to be able to impact the learning outcomes of our children, both academic and non-academic. So as Teach for Sierra Leone, an organization that is interested in leadership within the classroom, that is interested in quality, which can only be delivered by teachers, we thought it is important to look at the issue of UU teachers and what support can be provided to them. So we have decided to develop a proposal on what CFSL will do in the area of training UU teachers, like we do for university graduates. Now, other graduates from tertiary educations with teaching backgrounds. We want to now design something for UU teachers that we are going to specifically sell to targeted organizations in Sierra Leone and externally. So against that background, we want to put together a small team of people to come up with a draft on the training of UU teachers. And if you hear your name, you have been nominated to be part of, I don't begin to sound like pastor, I'm saying pastor in Kisana Church. If you hear your name, it means you have been nominated to be part of this proposal development committee. The first name there is Ibrahim Kawa, the fundraising guy, because this has to do with fundraising as well. We also want Mr. Hassan Blah to be part of this proposal, the development of this proposal for UU teachers. We want the project officer Salim Mansari to be part of this process. We want, who else? Sajusu to be part of this process. And the whole thing should be chaired by Professor Jibril MS Conte, so that we try to come up with a proposal along these lines. We've had these discussions before. Let us try to put what we want to do, how we are going to do this, and so on and so forth. I am available for advice and support. If you're having a meeting and you want me to be part of that meeting, I'll be more than happy to be there. I'm more than happy to share my own input. But this proposal committee will be chaired by Mr. Jibril MS Conte. Any questions?
Can I just provide a guide before the question comes in? I think this should be a very simple concept. We talk about Teach for Sierra Leone, who we are, what we've done. But okay, the reality obviously will be there. Yeah, we know how many percentage of teachers you in the classroom. We need all this data, right, in the whatever thing. And then the rationale now comes in the ask. It has to be very simple because this is something we want to present to the Irish Aid. We started having an initial conversation when we did our last QRM, and they seem to be quite interested in it. Because for them, that's a path to sustainability. That's another path for them. And it's kind of like assured for them. Unlike what we're doing, because they think it's just small chunk. So we're not looking at numbers like 100, 200. They're even thinking about 500. But with Irish Aid, then I've spoken already with the CEO who in fact asked me to put together something present. Now that I have my guy in TSC, so I'm looking at a tripartite arrangement wherein we have the government, then we have Irish Aid and us to do this whole thing. So let it not be more than maybe 3 or 4 pages, please. Because it has to be really, really like on the point, high level, but with data, with everything that needs to be banked on, please. Sorry, I'm giving you some British slangs.
And just one guide, one generic guide before you ask any questions. These UU teachers will be recruited and placed within their communities. If they are already in schools, they will be recruited and placed within those schools.
Yeah.
We will not be taking them out of those communities. We train them and leave them there. Any questions?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, no, go on. Hassan, go on. I will come after you.
Yes, I first of all would love to know this training we are proposing, is it similar to what we did for system teachers, or are we actually doing a professional training in which like we bring people to institutes and train them? Is that it?
It's a 2-year fellowship.
It's a fellowship, yeah.
Okay. Okay, if that is the case.
It's exactly like the fellowship we have now, but this will target UUs.
Okay. And are we doing a similar recruitment exercise? Opening it up,
yes,
or using
the only difference is this recruitment will be localized, because we are recruiting people from their communities and placing them in their communities as well.
And all the criteria, the biggest criterion is that it should be a UU and should be placed in a classroom.
Maybe we go for WAS, because there are some UU or Becker people. We don't want that. I don't think we want to go that low. We should just stick it to WAS.
Oh, okay. Alright, I think I'll hold it for now.
You should have at least 3 WAS subjects.
Doctor, maybe 3 will be too much. Let's do it 2. But what I'm thinking about, this has been done, I think, 2 years in a row now in Nigeria. So I'm going to plan a call with Folawe so I can learn from them as to how they did theirs, because it's separate arrangement, and this one is something that Teach for All doesn't fund at all. So we have to finance locally. But she's done like 2 cohorts of UU, 500 I think the first one, and then she did another 300 or so. So I'll have to learn from Folawe as to how that was done.
Yeah, I think it is something we have to do alongside the Teaching Service Commission, so that these UU teachers can actually be supported by them. Because whether they like it or not, they are in the schools, they are the community teachers, and so on and so forth. Why can't we formalize their existence and give them the training and support they need to excel in what they are doing? And as part of their own training, we also have to provide distant learning for them, so that it can serve as a path to certification. Unless if we have a path with Unimac, which we are working on, where the training we provide them will count towards their teaching certificates, their teacher certificates, then that could be also another dimension. But let us put together a proposal along those lines. And if you have any questions along the way, we'll be more than happy to respond to those questions.
And please, the proposal, can you come up with a PowerPoint? Because what I'm thinking now, we're mentioning like different partners, and this can work. That's how I think they've been doing it in Nigeria, because there's a university who does the accreditation for distance learning. So for me, after the accept, we'll try and use the TSC and the ministry to get a meeting. We invite them to a meeting attached with the concept, and then get someone from the university, because they will be doing the accreditation. TSC will come, they are providing teachers, the government, but then for the stipend aspect, that will be them. And then we have Irish Aid providing money for the training and all other stuff, right? So you have all of these people, key players in one room, and then we do a presentation, answer all questions, Then if there is an MOU we have to draft, then we can draft it and sign, and then we can kick off from there. Because I don't think, for me, I'm looking at this to start next September, alongside once we finish with the recruitment of the graduates, we can also have this thereafter. That's my thoughts.
All right. Can I come in quickly?
Yeah.
I almost have gotten the answers Doctor have provided to Hassan's question, but I am still needing some details. The UU teachers, are they going to be supervised by us or by the Ministry of Education officials? If yes, to the Ministry of Education officials, what kind of support or training do we also provide for them? Because we cannot train them in one thing. Those guys at ministry go and monitor something different or support them at different level. It will have to be aligned. So if that is the case, are we thinking around that area? That having them trained and supporting them, possibly on our own, or we train them and their own officials that are already supporting them, they support them. But of course, because we know the kind of people that we have out there doing this support, I mean, these school quality assurance officers, we understand the kind of work they are doing. We just rely on what they do. It is something I also want to be very clear. Because if we have to plan this, we have to think about if we are going to provide the training for them and the way we want them to support these particular teachers that we are going to train and live in those schools. Okay? And the second thing has to do with the recruitment strategy of these teachers. Is it going to be in a clustered way, or we just scatter it again as we are doing our own recruitment, like taking from every district, or are we targeting specific districts? And in those districts, we try to target specific communities, I mean, like chiefdoms and sections. That is something I would also want to have clarity on. Because if we leave it, like say, for example, you want the DDs to give you names, I promise you, you will be disappointed, because they will bring in names of people who are not teaching, who are not there teaching, but they want them to just get to benefit of whatever it is that possibly will be provided. Okay, that is something I know. It is something we have discussed like on different occasions when we meet with, our project with CRA, those concerns, you know, when they call for this training, go ahead, bring people who are not even teachers, just to take part in that training, because they know they will be giving them transportation and they share, something like that. So to avoid that, we have to be very strategic in thinking about this. If it is going to be cluster approach, how many districts are we doing? And how many communities in a particular district are we doing? We have to look at all those permutations before we go ahead with this. I don't know. Okay. I want to limit within these 2 years.
Okay, let me respond to both of your questions. Regarding this, in terms of supervision, TFSL will be providing the supervision for them, but that will also not stop MBSSC or TSC from doing their own independent monitoring and support, like they are expected to do with our existing fellows. The modalities will basically be the same. Yeah, we will provide the monitoring and support. TSC and NDSC, they are at liberty to do this. We are not going to leave it in the hands of everyone. So that is the first point. In terms of our recruitment, one key principle is we collaborate within 6 districts, right? We are going to carry on those 6 districts. And within the 6 districts, identify specific clusters. Because as we said, we localize the recruitment and also place the fellows in the localities in which they are recruited. We do not have any plan to move anybody from A to B. So the issue of accommodation should not come to us. The issue of schools will not be a problem for us because WUSA will take you and then they push you back. We'll just say improve your competence and performance and provide more support for you for being more effective in what you do. And then we provide teacher qualification training for you via distance learning with our partner, which is likely now going to be UNIMAC, University of McKinney, because they requested it because of the quality of material they believe we have.
And the Reverend Gamanja is looking forward to that, like very sharp.
Yeah, really.
In fact, he has asked me for a meeting, but I asked him to wait when you come. The three of us can have that meeting. I don't want to meet with him one-on-one.
I told you
No, there are things he started discussing that you need to be part of. I understand. Okay. We had the conversation in Kabbalah, and when we went to Mongol, he engaged me on that, and he is really asking that I reach out to you to inform you that he would like that meeting to be immediately when you return. Immediately you come to Sierra Leone.
Return, we will have a meeting with him, and we will try and desperate we are for that partnership as well. And that partnership is also critical for Irish Aid. For them, it's a key path to sustainability.
All right.
That is the way Irish Aid is. So it's extremely important for us. So that is what we are going to do. We'll provide. So in fact, they might not even need the distance learning. What the support we provide to them, the training we provide to them,
they just need to accredit our program.
Accredited as well.
Yeah.
So
of course, that is what is
generally fine. The costs will not be as much as what we are experiencing now with the graduates that we are dealing with. But we also have to ensure that we have funding for this initiative. That is why we need a separate proposal to get the funding so that we can kickstart the process. Yeah? So it's a very fine proposal.
Yeah, so I wanted to get this detail again. Are we going to pay them stipend like throughout the 2 year?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We will pay them the minimum wage, which is
the minimum wage. Yes.
Okay. So now this is going to be a little bit stretching for my LDOs. I have to start with that. If what I'm thinking, what is going to happen, that they are going to be responsible for those teachers in those communities.
You have to take new
Martin, the same ratio will apply, 20 to 1. Don't worry about that. But remember, every 20 will have an LDU. Yeah. So if we are recruiting 100, we are going to recruit 5 LDUs.
So meaning as we do this planning, we have to take cognizance of getting LDOs on board, right? That is why I'm asking all these questions.
But we already have the LDOs. We have cohort 1 and cohort 2 fellows.
Of course, but these will be recruited. They will be recruited and placed in those communities and will also be rated, right? So that's why I'm asking. So if we're going to propose a budget,
yes, it is all part of the proposal.
Exactly. So that's why I'm asking to be clear on all those. So if I will have to give any leadership to the team that will be doing the proposal, I have to be clear with all these things. And I am sure they are also listening now. They know that these are areas that we have to take cognizance of.
Yes.
Because what I was thinking anyway, I don't want to distort what you have already told me. What I was thinking. Yes. What I was thinking is that schools in which we place, most of them have the teachers. And I was just thinking, okay, could they be the teachers that we will just recruit already? And so when our LDOs go to support the graduate fellows that we have there, they kind of give almost the same support to those fellows instead of like maybe having a very large group again. I'm just thinking, even though I'm thinking of moving them off that big job, but it could be instead of having double roles to be played, like the same people from the same organization, you have two LDOs visiting the same school but seeing two different sets of people.
No, Martin,
but you can.
Let me jump in straight away. Let's take, for instance, Moyamba. In the schools where Kadiatu Rogers is placed,
Yes.
there are UU teachers, let's say 5, and Kadiatu Rogers has graduates who are also 5.
Yes.
That's 10. And then other place. So what we'll do, just count 20. Be UU, be they have to rearrange the supporting mentorship again.
So I am thinking around that area as well.
We will not be able to do that in Moyamba. We'll be able to do that in other places.
Okay.
Anyway, Martin, for the sake of the proposal and the budget, the ratio is 20 to 1. That is all you need to know. How it will work out in practice might be different, but the ratio still remains 20 to 1. That is the key thing. And you also, similar to the budget that we have prepared for 2023, all of the things we took into consideration, the recruitment, selection, matriculation, training, the placements, the ongoing support, the monitoring and evaluation of costs, a percentage of the staff time will be allocated to the support of these fellows. What percentage of your time allocates to these fellows? So if we recruit another 100, you'll be splitting your time 50-50. Not so? 50% from you and 50. So that is how we are going to work it. Like we do with proposals for some of the existing partners we have. That way they work in theory. For just Martin, there are so many ideas about, and we are going to accomplish all of this by the special. Inshallah.
Anyway, so let's see what will come out. We'll try to have a meeting, like a pre-engagement meeting. Before we engage on the writing process, we'll try to have a meeting with the guys so that we look at the different components that will be included. You know, the CEO has already started talking about some of the things that we have to, consider. And yes, we will be able to do that.
Look at the Irish aid proposal.
Which one?
The latest Irish aid proposal that we submitted.
Which you have not shared with me.
Okay, what I'll share with you Irish aid and that of our catalyst. Because when you look at the reality, the current reality under our catalyst, that will give you like a foundation of how to progress. But you can be able to navigate between the two.
Josephine, let us just use one. Let us use the Irish aid because we are also targeting Irish aid. Let us go with their format.
Irish aid is more ECD specific.
No, it is not. No, it's not ECD specific. You can also do generic projects with that. I am not saying they should copy it word for word. It's to look at the format that they are guided.
Yes.
So that they are guided in what they are doing. I think that's the most important thing. And you can also share with them Catalyst round 15.
Yeah, those are the two I said.
So Catalyst round 15 and the Irish aid, so they can look at the two typologies. But it's helpful to follow the Irish aid format because if we are asking Irish aid for support, they are going to ask us to use that format.
All right. Just so we are clear, the proposal will involve recruitment exercises for 100 UU teachers.
No.
Numbers have not been discussed.
We can decide to recruit 500 if you want. We can decide to train whatever number depending on the availability of funds. I would propose that we start in the proposal. Let us start with like 120.
That's too small.
Why I'm saying 120?
That's too small.
Doctor, for the UU, that one is too small.
It's way too small.
But we were thinking 500, but it's the money
No,
now.
we can't start with 500. I think Nigeria, they started with 400. So we can go 200
Let us start.
300.
Okay, no, let us start with 300. 100 will mean 50 per district.
On the 6, yeah, the 6 district that we have here, 50.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We have 6 districts, 50 per district, so the target would be 300, which means we have to bring at least 900 people to an assessment center. Which means we need...
They don't need to do assessment.
Doctor.
We have to be very clear, because those people will not be able to, some of them don't even know how to write.
And
they don't know how to write. What are they going to do in the classrooms?
What type of assessment are you envisaging for them?
No,
Doctor, we are going to recruit UU teachers, and these are people already teaching in those schools. If you bring them and you start dropping them at the end of the day, what signal are you sending?
No, the other problem, Martin, the other problem I have, there might be people who are currently not teaching, but who might be interested in this initiative.
But I believe we want to focus on those that are currently in the classroom.
Exactly.
Yes. That's why we call them UU teachers.
Yeah. So are we focusing on those that are in the classroom?
Currently, yes, sir. For me, it is a yes.
We will make that clear in the proposal. Because I know some people that villages doing nothing, but they refuse to go to the classroom because we must give them 50,000 cents. Now they're not good. But they're not say organization we go give them small thing for letting them at the classroom, they might be interested. Focus on those that are already in the classrooms.
Exactly. As we go, when the way they see the progress and the way the partners and themselves they come for support, that's how we spread it. We look now and say, okay, this school then at this community, not get enough teachers, and there are these individuals in that community they will get small with itself, way for don't able to teach, but because themselves not get support, they're not the day. So we can able recruit them people and they train them and place them. But now, let we target first the one that we already then don't willing say then they're at the classroom. But we want to capacitate them. We want to get them to a level where go look a bit comfortable for everybody. I think that should be the focus, sir. The man don't left the meeting.
I'm not left the meeting right there.
I feel say no more.
I said that proposal and the proposal will be very clear.
Yes, we will do so.
Okay, I think we need to round up this meeting now because we have other engagements in the next 5 minutes. So CEO's monthly call under AOB, I've skipped sponsor a teacher because we've spoken about it already. I'm going to learn also from Folawe because this is something that was part of the leadership journey train that we normally display, even with cohort 1, but it was never done. I want to start engaging the fellows on a monthly or maybe quarterly basis, like a time with CEOs. But I don't know how to go about that. I'm going to learn from Folawe. Learning is continuous, it's part of our core values. So she is doing it. I want to know how that is done. So once I have clarity, I'll work with the training department and then with the LDOs to coordinate that. If it's monthly, then we choose a day in the month when I'll engage cohort 3, and then the day in the month when I'll engage cohort 4. So that's all I want to share.
Correct.
And one final one is on the agenda is something I want us to start. And Mr. Kane, thank you so very much everything you're doing in terms of our branding and getting some content on social media. We're going to start doing more because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, this for Sierra Leone, you're doing a lot of work, but we're not seeing much of you." Yeah. So this social media thing, we need to be big on it. Now, as I see those things, the stuff that Mr. sharing, capturing key like snippets of the realities and our intervention. I want stuff like this to be on video. We don't have the money now to go to AYV or SLVC, but I want us to be capturing something. TFSL, I don't know the name now, but it's going to be visual. So Kane shared something with me as well, I think a couple of days ago when he went to the community. So TFSL in the community. So anytime we're not going to show what the fellows and the LDOs does in the community. Like we're getting reports from Batu IL community meeting. So all of that, we're going to have mini documentaries every week. TFSL in the community. We might future, like every week we do 3 community, we do 3 the next week. So fortnightly. So every LDO will feature, and every cohort sets will feature like twice a month. That's the idea I have, so that we can give Kane, myself and Doctor to create the content and then do all the editing bits together. So that means Kane might need a computer that has more advanced stuff. Maybe you need to be able to get the Adobe package. I don't know if it's Photoshop or whatever you're using or CapCut, whichever sort of editing software you're using, so that we can have those video bang on. We have them on social media, TFSL in the community. I think that's the title I need. TFSL in the community. Yeah, every week we will send that one out. Every week we have something to show. Teaching in ECD, engaging communities, and doing whatever remedial classes, studying under the solar light. These are things we want to capture, because this is now leading to the conference. Yeah, because now we don't begin market research saying that this is the dry community. But by the time we get to the conference now, it's going wild. So this is what us to start doing, like ASAP October. I know when we'll take Bombali, and then we'll take Magdalene. Yeah, or maybe they can Bombali. That will be 4 and 3. But we'll work around it. But we have to start in October, can it? So I don't know your reaction. This is like something we're going to do. It's not. We interview stakeholders. Matthew was talking about, what's the initial reaction about people are grateful for the fellows in Bombali. We want to see that on camera. To see that on camera in Pepel. We want to see stakeholders' engagement. We want them, teaching us collective leadership. What does it actually mean? Not just on the classroom, engaging parents, getting them involved in their kids' learning. We have like bits and bobs, put them together nicely. Out there it goes. Every week we have something showcased on Teach for Sierra Leone. You will see. That's it, Kane. So this is pictorial. What we want to do is the audiovisual. People talking, peace to the camera. Kane, are you there? And Martin, your initial reaction, do you think it's too much work on your people?
One thing I believe is, if they are well capacitated, and capacitated in the sense, given the right information that they need, I am sure they should be able to pull all this off. The reason why, in fact, we said, let the visits in those schools be limited now. Like, in a day you are in one school trying to see like two or maybe one or two fellows, and then maybe where you have 4 fellows, you have 2 or more days to spend. So after your official engagement with the fellows, you'll be able to have time to do some other engagement, do your recordings, meet with these heads of schools, meet with these SMC chairs and other members of the SMC, community people that are feeling the work that we're doing, capturing everything that, they are saying, they are experiencing, and putting it out there. Like what Mr. Kane did. He sent me one video yesterday that I looked at. I was so impressed with that.
Allahu Akbar.
However, I needed to see a few more bits and I shared with him. And I'm sure he's working on that to get something like that. Because in a video where you show, kids and their teacher in class demonstrating a particular thing, you can have the teacher to talk a bit more on what is going on with these kids in this class, what is he or she using, and how are the kids liking it, something like that. Reach the head of school. This fellow that is doing A, B, and C in your school, how are you supervising, and what are you thinking from the fellow? How are you liking it? Something like that. Go to the community. Our fellows meeting you. What are you discussing with our fellow? What has been your impression so far with their work? All these things are what I expect my LDOs.
And then we
exactly
come up with the instructional learning as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was just telling him, if you could just have these videos like for 15 seconds, put them like a video that lasts for 1 minute or 2 minutes will tell a lot about a particular community that you visit.
So we'll do guide. Everybody will have to follow that guide. So I'll put in WhatsApp group where we discuss how we want the content to be. You, myself, Doctor, and Kane will be on that, and then we'll have to start with that. So that's the guide we'll follow. Everyone is doing something. Sometimes walking short. You'll be walking. You have to maybe even taking your back, like you walk towards the community, because we need those shots to cut across another shot. So I'm bringing some bits of journalism in here, but that's how it's done.
All right. Okay, I think this has been very interesting today.
Very interesting. Sometimes it's good. Even though some are not so filer, but the engagement, we're not literally like stealing ideas, but when you discuss and you see something just triggers some thoughts in your head. When you sit down, you listen to what people say and things that they've not been done, and you say, oh, this is what we've been thinking around, and let's get cracking,
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I have a meeting with one M&E person. Can I join that meeting now?
Yes, this meeting is almost ending now. So I just want to ask if anybody has anything to share.
Yes, I have something to talk about.
Martin, you don't have? Yeah, somebody.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I was discussing with Mr. yesterday concerning the bank account numbers for the month is ending already, and they've not put their account.
All the fellows paid via Orange Money this time, because I'm pretty sure Mr. Rowe is yet to sort that out. But Patricia is on the call, and then they'll prioritize this one. They'll feed back to Martin and Hassan, and then they'll get back to you. But Orange Money payments for all cohorts for this time. September 8th. Yes.
Kadiasi, you don't want that phone again. Go back my left credit.
Hello.
Yes, Fatu, go on.
Yes, CEO. I heard you talking about Orange Money payments for this month for the fellows. My concern here is the cash out fee. Because if not, they are not going to get their amount that they got from the contract.
But we know they pay cash out.
Doctor, it go really fine for them and give them that cash out so they're able to forget
We know they pay cash out.
Fatu, what we'll do, we'll look.
Yes,
any one of them has bank account with UBA. and okay, let them send it across. Yeah, that would be possible. Anybody will get
that would
all
be
them
helpful.
shows. Anybody will get
Good.
bank accounts for UBA. Una copy the account number they find out. For UBA,
Okay.
una go on a spreadsheet and okay, we they pay them at the account here. But the one they
Thank you so very much, ma'am.
money. And maybe the number can reduce. They can see what they do. Management
With-
to decide. For
with the
September
BBAN.
only.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. So thank you all very much for making time
Hello.
meet today. We have action
Hello.
points. Yes,
I have something to say.
Hassan.
No.
It's Patrick. It's Patrick.
Kane.
Oh, yes, Patrick, go on.
I don't know, Doctor. I want to the security issue. I sent you some information, but they have not gotten to me yet.
Yeah, thank you very much for raising that, Mr. It was something I wanted to discuss with you privately. I think we should go for the cheapest option. But before we go into contract with that option, it is important for you to go to their office, verify their existence, look at all their documentations and take copies of those documentations. And to find out their areas of coverage, where they cover. And then we can take it from there, yeah? Do some due diligence. It's important. I don't want us to end up with a security agency like Mount Everest again. Let us know how they work. Let us have some background information. Spend some time on them. And then get back to me once you are satisfied with that, and we will go ahead. Just call me. Just send me WhatsApp message, and then we'll go ahead. That way we don't say 1-5, not so. That the best price we don't negotiate.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Let's take it from there, okay? I did not want to discuss it in this group. I wanted to talk to you personally. But it's okay. Just do that, and then we will take it from there, so they can start ASAP, yeah?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll continue with my time in my notes of application.
Mother Kane or something.
Oh, I'm not seeing the hands. I don't know why.
Okay,
Go on. Thank you.
with regards to the impact stories. And
So tell him talk.
Okay, guys, I think that's it for this meeting. Thank you all very much for joining in. Hassan, please,
Like,
if you can
seriously.
quickly share action points as to what needs to be done from today to Wednesday. That would be great. But